Gentlemen, welcome back to Mids from the Middle of the Midwest. An apology today, we're catching this topic about a month late. Way back in July, this app called T was in the news. Most of you who follow this kind of content are familiar. It's an app where women share information, gossip about bad boys to help other women avoid them because, as we know, women are constantly trying to avoid dangerous men. I know you've been waiting anxiously for my take. Well, today is your lucky day. Two observations. First, T promotes itself as an app that makes dating safer for women. Sounds a little counterintuitive, but I believe this is actually brilliant. If you followed our content, you will know that when it comes to dating, women avoid safety like the plague. They despise it. Women lust after dangerous men and literally have to be instructed on how to love safe men. And few of them ever do. But this is a wiring that men and women have. This is the female version of it. And most of them do not learn how to love men other than dangerous bad boys, alpha males. Yet women always say they are looking for safe men. So this is an excellent cover for women, for anybody who actually believes it. So here's how safety actually works for a woman. A woman wants a safe distance between herself and beta males. Danger to a woman is having a beta male touch her, or even worse, and in some cases, infinitely worse, having other women think that she actually enjoyed it. That is social death for a woman. So the genius of the T app is that it helps women share information about dangerous bad boys, all sorts of information. God, I wonder what women would do if they had a database filled with information on bad boys. Now, by the way, women have been sharing information in forms like this for a long time. This is just the first time where it's been publicly acknowledged to be done in like some sort of open source app, but women have always done this. What would a woman do if she had access to all the bad boys in her area? Hopefully, you know where I'm going with this. This is the second observation. T is the end result of all dating apps. That is apps, all online relationship apps. T is where it all ends. So, at least on paper, men are not allowed to actually use T. Only women are allowed to use T. But since beta males are invisible to women, they are literally invisible men. The only men who will actually show up on T are alpha males, bad boys, dangerous men. Thus, the app solves the main complaint that women have about traditional dating apps, that all the men are losers, that they're unattractive. They're the invisible men, the contemptible men. They call them dangerous, but it's really they just don't want anything to do with them. So you may be objecting, how is it possible that this can be a dating app if men are not allowed to participate? Seriously, think about it, guys. Before T, were unattractive men actually participating on dating apps? No, they were not. I've had a little experience with this myself. It wasn't always this way, but it very severely trended towards thousands of swipes, maybe hundreds, maybe thousands, maybe a million, depending on where you lived. Hardly any matches, maybe getting a few text responses, maybe getting a few phone numbers, maybe getting a date or two, maybe, God forbid, getting laid. But for the most part, just ghosted, ghosted, ghosted. That has been the experience of well over 90% of men on dating apps, and it was trending in that direction. So T is the solution to all online dating. Now, let's acknowledge that most people have sort of moved on from online dating. If you're still doing it, I have to wonder why. But at this point, the nice thing about T is that it is the final nail in the coffin of online dating. And in fact, everyone benefits. Women benefit the most because they get a database filled with profiles and dossiers on the dangerous alpha male bad boys they love, and they don't have to worry about it being infiltrated by those shady, invisible, unattractive men because only women are allowed to put out the dossiers on these guys. So women benefit because now their dating pool is centralized. Alpha males benefit because they don't have to lift a finger. They don't even have to bother. Women will use this app to find them. In fact, if you're a bad boy and you weren't even on dating apps, you still may end up on T, and you may still be able to use it to access more women. Alpha males never really had to worry about any of this before, since they were already benefiting from being an in-demand, high-value commodity in the sexual marketplace. Beta males, invisible men, guys, you benefit too. If you haven't done so already, you can now permanently delete all dating apps and stop wasting your time. That sounds like a bitter pill to swallow, but you've been swallowing it for years. And as I said, I think most of you have already reached the point where the diminishing returns have been obvious and they set in quite a while ago. You were invisible before, you're invisible now, you will be invisible after. It's tragic. I wish it weren't set up this way, but it is. No matter what app you use or no app at all, women will avoid unattractive men at all costs. That's the way it is, and it will never, ever change. Fortunately for you, with a ton of effort, for most guys, it's effort, effort, effort. There's a few that don't have to lift a finger, but for most of you guys in this situation, if you put in a fuck ton of effort, I mean a ton, you may, not necessarily will, but you may become visible. Thanks for listening. Like, subscribe, and final thought. I'm having a little fun with this. I don't actually expect the app to function as a dating app, but the reason I bring it up this way is that anyone who understands female nature knows that this scenario is uncomfortably close to reality. Women only hate the men they love, and women only love a man if they can compete for him. And the easiest way to know that a man is worth competing for is to use an app like T to see if other women are complaining about him as well. By the way, you invisible men, if you happen to find out that a woman is talking shit about you on T, celebrate. You've just graduated to being visible. Take care.